Blackbeard, Buggy, and Shanks are brothers. Just hear me out. This adding to my theory of how Xebec'S sister was nabbed by the world government to be married off to Garling, birthing him Shamrock and Shanks, would in turn make all three of these Yonkos related. Rocks heads out to continue his pursuit in making the greatest opposition the government would ever see. 44 years ago from the current story, a young Kaido joined Rocks' crew, which was already insanely broken with additional characters such as Big Mom, Gloriessa, Captain John, Wang Yi, and so on. It's here where Rocks would find his Pookie, Puz, Day Ones, and all those side pieces. And yes, I meant more than one. If he has similar personality to his son, Xebec doesn't seem like a monogamous type. However, not all of them bore his children. But things get crazy because another 4 years later, or 40 years ago from the present time, Xebec'S son, Marshal D. Teach, would be born. During this time, an incident would occur that would push Xebec further into enacting an all-out attack against the God's Knights, which we would later see in God's Valley. I believe this event was the abduction of Xebec'S sister, who was given off to Garling. If Xebec was originally a king, his sister would be a princess, and effectively the treasure of Fullerled Island. This practice of taking strong female captives and breeding with them was pretty common by the celestial dragons, as we saw with Ginny birthing Bonnie. So what better way to humiliate Rocks than taking his sister? In chapter 1096, during the God Valley incident, Garp tells Kong that he did warn them not to take the treasure from Fullerled, and that's why Rocks is going all out to reclaim it. Initially, it was believed that this treasure was the devil fruits that was being given out as the prize for the culling game that the Celestials were holding. But during the attack, it seemed as though only Big Mom, Kaido, and the others who joined much later seemed interested in these devil fruits and treasure, whereas Whitebeard stated Rocks will lose sight of the goal, as though he was emotionally invested, and that there was a specific objective in mind. Roger reached Lodestar and learned that there is more to the story of the world. Him and Rocks were feuding for a while at this point, but had different approach to what they saw as liberation. At the same time, Buggy and Shanks were also born. Now, we already made the case that Shanks' relation to Xebec is through his sister, but how does Buggy the Clown fit in all of this? Like, my guy's personality is that of a complete weakling. Well, leaving aside the facial similarities from the tattoo around their eyes to their expression, we aren't left with much, right? No, actually we are. Like Blackbeard, Buggy was born in the Grand Line, and like Blackbeard, Buggy is actually very different from normal humans. Yes, I'm talking about his nose. Following the same theory of Xebec wanting to create a future where he actually wins against the Celestial Dragons, he added to his contingencies. Now, granted, all three Yonko being related seems crazy. Some of you lot even said their aura is similar because Rocks actually has the Butter no Mi and awakened it, which is not a bad idea. But again, the horns on the Jolly Roger are really pushing me to think my guy is a demon. Regardless, 38 years from the present, the God Valley incident occurs. This only happened because Ginny was able to broadcast what was happening in the island, giving Rock's crew the tip to invade. He knew Garling would be there, and likely his sister. The fact that Whitebeard stated they have to be certain verifies this. However, the news didn't just reach Rocks, but also Roger. This place would have treasures from all around the world. The idea that Roger stopped Rocks with Garp likely only happened after seeing Xebec on a rampage, and the reason he went berserk is, well, I think Garling killed Rocks' sister after she hid Shanks. She was like, nope, I don't want my child to be raised by these demons, hence why Shanks was seen as the child of destiny, being both from celestial lineage and from the family of D. But Xebec was having none of that. With his sister dead, he was going to destroy the island along with Garling. Sadly, he failed and supposedly died. However, as I mentioned, having a variant of the Devil no Mi Zoan fruit, he was able to possess his son and live on. Roger's crew managed to save Shanks knowing who he was, yet raised him as their own. With the Rocks pirates officially disbanded, Blackbeard and Buggy were sent back to their mothers. Blackbeard was dropped off at Shade Port, later taking on the name Marshal D. Teach under his mother's name, who likely also was a D. But hey, this is just a theory. A balls deep theory. If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out this one next.